Freida. Hey guys, today I'm going to be reviewing Freida McFadden's The Teacher. I am Dava and this is Dava's Life. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to my channel and like the video. If you want to see more, leave me a comment down below and things like that. So let's get into it. So I got this book last week sometime and I think it took me about 4 or 5 days to read it. Now, I could not put this book down. I could not. The Teacher by Freida McFadden is a psychological thriller that had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. It starts off with 2 characters. Eve Bennett, she's a math teacher at Kasem High School. Addie Severson is a junior student at Kasem. Addie is one of Eve's students in her math class, and she's also a student in Eve's husband's class, in his English class. His name is Nate Bennett, and we'll get to him later, but basically they both share a student. They both have her in their class. Eve feels very lucky to have lured in her husband, Nate Bennett, because she feels that her looks are very mediocre and he's like the perfect man. Everyone just loves him. On the outside, it looks like they have a perfect marriage, but behind closed doors, it's a lot going on. Nothing is as it seems. Everyone seems to be enchanted by Nate's charm that he has, even his students. Now, back to Addie Severson, the student. Now, Eve realizes that she needs to be cautious with Addie because, so basically, Addie is the reason that this teacher resigned last year due to inappropriate behaviors that we don't know yet, but you kind of get a clue as to maybe what went on, right? Basically, you can't trust anyone in the book. Now, these characters might be explaining their stories and what's going on, but it's so hard to trust anyone that's speaking at that time, right? All right, so my evaluation of this book, very, very, very suspenseful. It had me on the edge of my seat. I do feel like the plot was perfect. I'm one of those people who reads a suspenseful thriller like this one, and I'm already my brain is turning. My brain is wondering and already trying to solve whatever problem there is. But I was not expecting the ending. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but there was one part towards the end that I felt that I knew would happen, because Freida, I don't know, it's almost like she gave it away, but I knew that portion would happen. Now, at the end, like the very end, I was not expecting what I read. I was not expecting that at all. Overall, I enjoyed this book. It was satisfying. I love Freida McFadden's writing style. I would say this is my second favorite book of hers. The first favorite that I have of hers is The Housemaid. The Housemaid is my favorite book of hers, and then I would say it has to be The Teacher. On the first page, honestly, is where she already had me interested into reading more. And I'll actually read you some parts of chapter 1. So it starts 3 months earlier, and that starts with Eve, who is the math teacher at Kasem High School. So it says, people are always telling me how lucky I am. They tell me that I have a beautiful house, a fulfilling career, and I constantly get compliments on my shoes. So you already know that Eve, she loves shoes. Like, she's obsessed with shoes. And Freida let us know that very early on in the book. But I'm not kidding myself. When people tell me that I'm lucky, they're not talking about my house or my career or even my shoes. They're talking about my husband. They're talking about Nate. So that's where we kind of get into, okay, I'm interested. What is she talking about? And then you kind of get to know who she is, and you kind of get to know who her husband is. And it's just hard to like or dislike these characters. It's tough. And I love that Freida McFadden did that in this book, where you are just not sure if you should trust this character or that character or none of them. It's just kind of like all over the place in a good way, in a positive way. Now, my recommendation for this book, I will recommend this book to people who love to read thrillers, suspenseful thrillers, or mysterious books. And I would give this book a rating of 9 out of 10. Now, I give it a 9 out of 10 because there was a part, like I said, at the end where I'm like, oh, I know this is going to happen because everything is adding up and it has to equal to this. And it was. But at the very end, I was not expecting what went down. So I'm going to give this book a 9 out of 10. And I'll recommend this book to any like young adult, I don't know, 25-ish and older. Yeah, it's a good book. It's a really good read. I really was interested in it too because, I mean, it's called The Teacher, and I am a teacher, so I'm like, oh, Freida McFadden got a book called The Teacher. I'm all into it. I want to read it. I want to know what it's about, right? And yeah, a lot of the parts I was just not expecting. So if you love reading, go ahead and get Freida McFadden, The Teacher. It's a really good read. You'll enjoy it.